Semi-finals day here at the Hobart International as we welcome you to the Domain Tennis Centre for what should be a terrific matchup to crown another new champion. Great Britain's Heather Watson up against the American qualifier Madison Brengle. Watson yet to drop a set here in Hobart this week, looking to win her second WTA title and become the first British player to be on the honour roll in the event's 22-year history. For Madison Brengle, she steps into uncharted waters, her first WTA final. Looking to replicate what Garbi Muguruza did here 12 months ago. She would become the third American to win this key lead-up event to the Australian Open after Amy Frazier and Chanda Rubin. It's an honour roll that has included reigning Wimbledon two-time champion Petra Kvitova, former world number one Kim Clijsters, and former top 10 players Paddy Schnyder and Chuck Vitadze, and Australia's very own Alicia Molik. It's been a week here in the Tasmanian capital where all the seeds have fallen. We've had all elements of the weather, some long, hard-fought matches, and now a chance to secure for two players an early season trophy and great confidence to take into the first Grand Slam of the year. The locals are certainly rugged up like it was for semi-finals day as the players make their way out. And what a week she's had. Madison Brengle earning her spot here in the final. And her opponent in Heather Watson has certainly been the form player of the week yet to drop a set. Blustery conditions once again for the players. There is some rain around. We may have a disruption or two throughout the afternoon, but it should be a terrific final. Watson, of course, the world number 49. Brengle at 84 in the world. And both know each other particularly well. They've trained together quite a bit, spent a fair bit of time at the Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy, had Christmas together, and know each other's games particularly well. For Heather Watson, this would be a big step for her as she tries to rise towards the top 30. And Madison Brengle, of course, cracking the top 100 for the first time in 2014, looking to take some more strides in her career. Her best performance previous to this was a quarter-final in Linz in Austria last year. And, well, two tournaments in 2015, Brisbane, and now Hobart. She's worked her way through qualifying and has earned her spot here in the final with some hard-fought wins. The locals in good numbers, not too many empty seats here at the Domain Tennis Centre. We're going to take you courtside for the Australian national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be outstanding for the national anthem?
You can sing into that, Adele.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is cut by sea, our land abounds in nature's gifts, our beauty rich and rare. In history's plates, let every state advance Australia fair, in joyful strains, and let us sing, advance Australia's fair.
So the players here with the umpire.
Steve? That end? Okay.
So both players will hit up. We'll hear more about the two players in just a moment. They've only met once previously back in 2010 in Quebec City, and Heather Watson won that in straight sets 6-1, 6-3. Well, let's go down to our man Michael Mooney, who's courtside to tell us more about the two players.
Ladies and gentlemen, this pair have met just once. That was 5 years ago, with Heather winning in straight sets. 24-year-old Madison Brengle's road to the finals started in qualifying, leading to victories over former Hobart International winner Mona Bartel in the first round, Katerina Kozlova in a quarter-final win, and Italy's Karen Knapp and yesterday's semi-final triumph over Japan's Karumi Nara. This is Madison's first WTA final. She's notched up 7 ITF wins. She is currently number 84 in the world. Please welcome Madison Brengle from the United States. "22-year-old Heather Watson is through to her second WTA final after her win at Osaka in 2012. Victories over Magdalena Rybakova, 5th seed Sloane Stephens, 9th seed Roberta Vinci, and yesterday's tough win over 8th seed Alison Risk in the semi-final. Heather has not dropped a set so far in this tournament. Please welcome once again Britain's #1 singles player, Heather Watson. Your chair umpire for this championship match is Tom Sweeney from Australia.
So the two players who have certainly deserved their spot here in the final. Heather Watson not dropping a set, but in superb form. She's taken some fantastic scalps, and Madison Brengle having to play 3 qualifying matches just to get to the final here in Hobart. The pair do train together in Florida. They're good friends. They spent Christmas together. And what a start to the year it would be for both players to get their hands on a trophy, particularly heading to Melbourne Park for the first Grand Slam of the year. Well, let's take you back to semi-final day yesterday, and well, the weather certainly played a big part. Very blustery conditions. There was lots of rain, and Heather Watson, closest to you on the screen here, certainly started slowly against Alison Risk. Was able to work her way into the first set and really get on top. It was tough conditions, certainly for the players to serve. There were 6 rain delays in this match, so the players were on and off the court considerably. One certainly over an hour. But Watson all week, her footwork has been superb. Just her intelligence out on court has certainly been a major highlight. And in the end was just a little bit too steady for Alison Risk, who made a lot more unforced errors in this particular match. And Heather Watson just capping off what has been an outstanding run and looking to go a step further by winning the final here today. Had her injuries in 2013, climbing from outside the top 100 back to just inside the top 50. So looking to take another step. And this was also a very, very good matchup. Karumi Nara of Japan, who had a terrific week, the world number 43, up against Madison Brengle. Now, Brengle had, of course, the right-hand blister, which gave us some trouble throughout the match. Karumi Nara also had an injury concern in that second set, but it was Brengle's fairly steady play that has allowed her to get through to the final here in Hobart, and Karumi Nara just making, like Alison Risk in the first semi-final, too many unforced errors. But one feels if Brengle's going to defeat Heather Watson today, she'll need to certainly ramp up the firepower, and she managed to get through. We showed some footage yesterday when her coach came out with the second set, or the third set I should say, right in the balance. Karumi Nara was receiving a medical timeout, and the coach just reassuring Madison Brengle to get to the finish line. She'd done all the hard work, and she found a way to win. It was a frustrating day for the Japanese player, who was certainly feeling the effects as the match wore on. And it was Brengle's fairly steady play that has got her through. Not necessarily the firepower, just good, consistent hitting. The conditions were pretty tough on that semi-final day for all players concerned. What a run for Madison Brengle. Can she go one step further and claim the title here in Hobart? Going to find out in just a few moments' time. Of course, you can keep in touch with all the action here. Hashtag Hobart Tennis. So the rain has certainly abated for the moment. It does turn fairly quickly here in Hobart, and hopefully not too many interruptions for the players. Certainly the locals are very much rugged up. The ball boys just making sure the lines are right to go. It's just been that misty, fine rain that's come through on semi-final day yesterday, and That has been the case a few times today, but it should be a quality final. Heather Watson, of course, winning in Osaka back in 2012. It was that win that took her inside the top 50, and she overtook Laura Robson as the British #1. We know Laura has spent a fair bit of time off the tour in the last year and is expected to be back in action in February. Top of 17, going to be fairly windy and some showers around, but hopefully not too many disruptions. But certainly Watson and Robson were going head-to-head for that coveted British #1 spot. And obviously Laura, with that left wrist injury, only played the 2 matches last year. In fact, played here in Hobart. And then we haven't seen much of her since. And Heather Watson's been able to take her game to the next level. So the players just holding for the moment as the chair umpire, Tom Sweeney, just inspects the court, checks the lines. Just that misty rain which is blowing through the Domain Tennis Centre. Go back 12 months ago for Madison Brengle. She also came through qualifying here in Hobart, but lost in the first round to Australia's Samantha Stosur in a 3rd set tiebreak. 12 months later, she's made the final. It's Mount Wellington in the background. That's where the rain tends to come from, over the top. So hopefully we'll get things underway in
Yeah, let's give it a try.
just a few moments. I think Tom Sweeney is happy to go. So the Hobart International final about to get underway. As mentioned, Heather Watson has spent a lot of time at the Nick Bollettieri Academy, and Nick in town at the Australian Open talking to Australia's coaches yesterday, and certainly praised her amazing footwork when she went there as a young 12-year-old. Heather Watson to get us underway. So both players still a little concerned here with the lines. Madison Brengle keen to get to the chair. So the players, after 1 point, are going to come off here. So only 1 point. Now we saw, of course, with Heather Watson in her semi-final against Alison Risk yesterday, it was on match point. The players were off court for around about an hour. Heather was able to come out and eventually close the match out.
Just a couple of light showers. When the court becomes slippery, we'll just hold play for now and hope that they disappear soon.
So if you're just joining us, welcome to the Domain Tennis Centre. The final here of the Hobart International. It's the qualifier on screen. Madison Brengle of the United States taking on Great Britain's #1 in Heather Watson. And the weather just playing a little part to start this match. The only British player, Heather, in the top 100, of course. Joanna Conta, of course, who spent some time under the Australian banner at 147 in the world. Naomi Brodie at 172. We know Laura Robson, who was, of course, inside the top 50. His ranking has slipped to about 995 in the world due to her injury layoff, and she'll come back in February. And with all her talent, should be able to get that ranking certainly back up there pretty quickly. The tournament organisers have done an outstanding job this week. We had a washout on Wednesday. Thursday, of course, we had the second round matches and the quarterfinals back to back. It's been quite an amazing tournament with all seeds knocked out, including the top seed from Australia, Casey Delacqua, who didn't quite find her best form here in Hobart this week, but has made her way to Melbourne Park to prepare for the first major of the year. As the sun reappears, the players will recommence. Of course, Heather Watson had to back up and play doubles in the semi-final here last night. That match also interrupted by rain. Close to match point. Heather had spent another hour or two at the court, so didn't leave here till about 10 o'clock last night. Madison Brengle earlier in the tournament, first round match. What a marathon it was. We called it Marathon Monday. It went till 12:30 in the morning. A tough 3-set win over Mona Bartle, the champion here 3 years ago. So an early breaker serve opportunity here for the qualifier, Madison Brengle. Of course, Bringle's best performance prior to this final, a quarter-final in Linz last year in Austria. She also came through qualifying in that event. Went down to Karolina Pliskova. Runner-up in Sydney last night to Petra Kvitova.
Advantage break.
Breeze behind her back here, Heather Watson.
Juice.
Tough windy conditions here for the players. They experienced it yesterday here in the semi-finals.
Advantage, bring.
So a third chance to break here for the American. Hampered in the last couple of games by that blister on her right hand. She's found a way to win.
Yes.
So first double fault for Watson. Fourth opportunity now for Madison Brengle to try and break serve. You can see that ball swirling around. It's not an easy assignment out there at the moment. Long service game here for Heather Watson to open up. So Heather Watson has been able to save 4 break points already. Another chance. And she saves 5.
Juice.
Good work there by Brengle just to reset her court position, but easy ball for Watson to get over the top of. Well, if this first match is any indication, we could be here for a little while. So 6th chance in this opening game to break. Certainly the variety in Watson's game has been on full display this week. It's feature of how she plays. Good footwork. Really moves the ball around the court. But finding it tough going here on the serve. She gets there in the end. 13 minutes that opening game, and she saved 6 break points, Heather Watson. So Brengle to step up and serve here.
Madison Brengle to serve. left.
Well, she certainly knows today, Brengle, she's got to step up the serve.
30 left.
Heather Watson's ball striking has been consistent all week. So a complete contrast here on the Brengle serve. And Michael Maney joins me here in our position high over the centre court marathon first game.
Yes, it seemed to have gone on for ages. I thought, well, it's had an ace. Heather doesn't like it. And it's 1-all. She's still there.
Well, just a quick glance. I reckon Heather's probably got a decent case, but the call will stand. And Brengle gets on the board. One game apiece. Certainly looked wide for mine. She was unhappy about a couple of calls yesterday, Heather.
Yes.
We heard her sort of muttering away that she'd been robbed. They were her words.
I think the main thing about that, she got composed, back down to business, and I think that's the strength of character and mind, and here she is serving.
Yeah, it's good deep striking here from Brengle.
Love
So
15.
she's got to. She'll know that the step up from the semi-final to here, and no doubt she would have maybe had a little bit of work done on that blister overnight, which was giving her some trouble. She knows she needs to hit deep. She needs to serve well. be the aggressor.
Totally agree with you, Brett, because
Love
she's
30.
playing Heather Watson, Madison Brengle, and Heather, her game has been so good. Not a lot of unforced errors. I mean, in the windy conditions you can understand it, but Heather has been very good. So Madison can't just wait for an error. She needs to take the game up to Heather.
Really sitting up nicely for Watson to put away.
15-30.
So a couple of break points here for Brengle, and she was able to save 6 break points, Heather Watson, in that opening service game. You were here last night, Michael. She had to spend a lot longer at the courts, and she probably would have liked in preparation for this final, Heather.
Yeah, she didn't get out till after 10:30 last night, at least.
Just didn't do enough there on the approach. Left herself wide open.
34.
Yes, it was another one of those crazy nights in Hobart, and at 30 all with Nicolescu and her partner serving, it was another 3/4 of an hour before we get the point done.
Eight of 8 break points saved for Watson. She needs to save another one here. It's an amazing stat early in this match.
Juice.
Tough for her on serve, Heather Watson, but she's been able to save 9 break points. Certainly the favourite coming into this match, but certainly the conditions can be a leveller. Well, a real battle on the serve here. Particularly at that end of the court. We saw it on the semi-final day here yesterday. 2 double faults now for the British number 1. Plenty of kick on that serve.
See a bit of that today.
Yeah, the wind just gusting up again here, which is making life a little difficult for both players. We had the wind around about that sort of 45k an hour yesterday. Trying to judge the ball in flight too. It's swirling around. It's going from side to side. It's holding up.
It's a bit of a miss-hit from Madison and gave Heather the opportunity there. Can she hold?
Yes.
Here we go again. It's been tough for Heather on serve.
It's a really intriguing matchup, this one. And Watson has been, as we've mentioned, steady all week, hasn't dropped a set. Few unforced errors. Brengle's also played good, solid tennis. The conditions certainly even things up.
Advantage, Brengle.
So this will be the 10th opportunity for Madison Brengle to break serve in just the third game of the first set. Heather Watson has saved all 9 break points.
Yes.
And she saves another one. Strap yourself in.
I'm strapped.
This might go for a little while.
Advantage, Brengle.
He's going to have to do it again. I guess time will tell as the mental toll of being here at this venue until 10:30, 11 o'clock last night, just mentally.
And then you've got Brengle, who's come through qualifying, and yeah, she stands up in another match.
Yes.
Well, there's 2 stories here. Madison can't get the break, and Heather just continually finds a way to save it. It's a worry for both players.
Advantage, Brengle.
I've got a feeling, Michael, it's going to happen right here.
I'm glad you said it.
Oh! 11 of 11 saved. So Brengle does finally break the Watson serve.
Brengle leads by 2-1.
First break in this match, opening set. It's the qualifier, leading at 2-1. Well, quite extraordinary for Heather Watson coming into this final as the favourite. Really struggling on serve in the opening couple of service games. Madison Brengle all week, Michael, we probably thought this is going to be the end of the road. It's going to come to an end at some stage.
Yep.
Here she is, early breaker serve, first set. When you were here last year, you saw it with Gabi Muguruza coming through qualifying. Mona Bartle going back to 2012. Every chance it could happen again here.
Every chance. It's she's been playing very well, and she seems to have all the answers. At times drops a set very easily, but does come back fiercely.
So the 15 unforced errors already for Watson, and just the 7 for Brengle. So Watson certainly has got the ability to hit more winners here. The Domain Tennis Centre, it's the final here of the Hobart International. Madison Brengle The qualifier on screen with a break, serving at 2-1. And she got through her first service game pretty efficiently. Doesn't waste any time. That's one thing we've noticed about Madison all week. She likes to get on with things quickly.
No
doubt she will have taken a look at Heather Watson's matches and noticed how well she struck the ball, so she has to match that firepower. Great shot, cross court, clean winner.
That's exactly what she needs to do. Madison Brengle, find the angle, just whipping that across court. Magnificent shot.
There's fourth winner. Once again, like her semi-final, Bringle serving at a pretty good percentage, 87% on the first serve. Just a little bit more bite on it today.
$30-40.
A blink of an eye, Heather Watson now has a chance to break.
Juice.
At that end of the court, you've got the breeze mainly behind you. Just that control needed. Get the ball back into play. Yeah, short ball coming back. So Watson can just step in and
Advantage Watson.
go either way. So Bringle misses, back-to-back breaks a serve. The final here at 2 games apiece in the opening set.
I think you mentioned a moment ago, buckle in for a long haul. How long have we been going for now? Roughly about half an hour.
4 games.
Been a lot of tennis played in that half an hour.
Well, that ball really dipped on Watson. It brought her forward. She had to keep going to the net.
15.
Just got a little exposed then. Out of the picture there, and enough open court for Madison Brengle to hit the winner.
Right throughout this tournament, there's been so many times players have lost their serve. It's been a real battle for all the players, almost through every match, to hold serve. This tournament just one of those things that happens from time to time.
Yeah, just really opening up the shoulders, just upping the pace there of that off forehand. Well, we've seen Brengle all week defend well and keep herself in points. She just knows that she's got to try and push Watson back and hit the ball deep. Don't bring her forward.
Yes, the game plan has to change for every opponent.
So now a couple of break points for Brengle once again to get a win on the Watson serve. And there's the break again. Well, it's an interesting battle at the moment. Breaks a serve. It's Madison Brengle leading it 3-2 here in the opening set. 2015 Hobart International Final. Blue skies at the moment, which is the good news, and hopefully that stays that way.
Yeah, still a little bit of cloud about. Hopefully no further rain, but interesting that last stroke from Heather Watson, really going for a tight shot down the line and down on that in that score line. She just almost broken, but then she went for a low percentage shot down the line and thought she may just have tried to keep in the point for a little bit longer. There's the cloud that's hovering around the domain, but I don't think we'll get any rain out of those clouds, so hopefully we don't see any precipitation.
Yeah, maybe just a little tiny drop. It's been that very fine misty rain.
Well, it does all depend which way you look, doesn't it? So from the other side view, it's nice and sunny, but it does swirl around here in Hobart quite a lot. You have a mountain, Mount Wellington, and there's some of the crowd that have come in all prepared. You've got to be prepared when you watch tennis in Tasmania. I can tell you all sorts of seasons. Here's Madison.
He just didn't do enough on the volley. Left her high and dry at the net.
Love 50.
Don't see her come in a hell of a lot.
Got it nice and deep. Yeah, she's pretty much a baseliner. Here's Madison Brengle. And I guess just choosing the right time.
We've seen her opponents this week try and make her wait. Karimi Nara was always last out of the chair yesterday. Karen Knapp, some player did that during the week.
30.
In her matches, particularly against Casey Delacroix, really making her wait for a period. Madison not one to really waste much time, likes to really hurry through and catch your opponents off guard. It's a well-constructed point. Playing good tennis here, the qualifier.
40.
They won right in the corner. Yeah, once again, Brengle having to do some defending. Trying to turn it into attack, but Watson just too good on that occasion. It's a big sixth game here. Brengle looking to consolidate to get to 4-2. I didn't think she was going to get to the last one with that off forehand from Heather Watson.
Advantage Watson.
So we're looking at another breaker serve here in this opening set.
Juice.
I say all the matches this week here at the Hobart International have been hard to call. We're trying to get a bit of a form line.
Yeah, it's difficult.
A lot of fluctuations. Breaks a serve, momentum shifts. Great shot.
Kept it low. Yes, particularly when you get qualifiers come through like Madison Brengle has and stun everyone along the way she's played. So important for a 4-2 lead in this opening set.
Hasn't won any points on her second serve. Oh, right there, Watson. Terrific point.
Juice.
Perfect execution by Heather Watson.
Yeah, fresh off playing the doubles and semi-finals of the doubles, as well as making the final here in the singles. Spent plenty of time at the net.
Advantage Brengle.
Frustrating game. You do all the hard work in the previous point and then you blow one out the baseline and you're back to where you started. Wonderful shot from Heather Watson.
Yeah, it's the big strength of Watson, this cross-court backhand. Yeah, solid stuff from the back of the court.
Advantage Watson.
Just the ability of Watson as those rallies really ramp up, just to put a bit more, particularly on that backhand.
Yeah, she gets depth on that backhand too. She can really hit the angle nicely.
There it is again. Another breaker serve here at the Hobart International Final.
3 games up.
We've been going nearly 3/4 of an hour in this opening set. Only completed 6 games.
Well, the crowd certainly getting their money's worth today in this final. 3-all. Watson to serve. It's fluctuated. It's windy. It's a little bit cool with sunny breaks. There you go. That's Tassie for you.
Love 15.
Both players looking to really increase their first serve percentage, both at 59% at the moment, have really struggled to win any points on their second serve. Just 2 of 12 for Watson, and she's won no points. Madison Brengle from her 5 second serves. Anything slightly short back from Brengle, Watson is certainly going to pounce on.
Really finding some open court at the moment is Heather Watson.
40-15.
It's the forehand wing that's doing some damage in this game.
Which side to go to at the moment for Madison Brengle?
And Watson's able to hold. And she leads the final here, 4-3 in the opening set. So 7 games in, we're none the wiser here. Heather Watson, you just feel though, Michael, as the match wears on, can hit more winners, can dictate the games here. And she doesn't make too many unforced errors. We've seen a few. It is blustery, so even players who traditionally don't make a lot of errors are going to maybe make a few more. That stat will go up. As we just take a look at the unforced error count at the moment. So Watson up to 20, which is unlike her. Look at that wing can just settle a little bit. Brengle's only made the 13, but it's the capacity of Watson to hit more winners. 17-8.
Yeah, I think that's the statistic that is going to tell in this game as it goes on and on, with 17-8 at the moment.
Finals day here at the Hobart International. That lady on your screen, she's come through qualifying this week, Madison Brengle. Can she go on to a fairy tale victory? Will be her first on the WTA Tour. She trails 4-3 here in this opening set.
Of course, Madison Brengle just beating one seeded player through to the final, whereas Heather Watson's had to beat 5th seed Sloane Stephens, 9th seed Roberta Vinci. And also 8th seed Alison Risk. So Heather Watson's tougher draw in one sense than Madison Brengle, but both players here in the final.
She's stepping up in this game, Watson. Now she's got 3 break points for a 5-3 lead in this opening set.
Well, you can sense that Brengle's trying a few different things here. She's trying to mix it up a bit more. And it's just not working for her at the moment.
It's been good to watch the Heather Watson story this week.
Yes, at 22 years of age, Brett, she certainly has a very bright future in the game.
So there's a significant moment in this opening set. Now Heather Watson with a chance to get the first set under her belt. I think it's her variety that we've enjoyed. She tries to really make things happen out on the court, can up the power when she has to, but just good court smarts.
Good all-round player, good at the net, and also good from the baseline with that weapon forehand and also that ripping backhand cross court.
Both players there knowing that the wind had just gusted up.
15 left.
Just trying to keep that control.
Just taking the pace off the ball a little bit with a few slices and top spinners.
So on her way now, Heather Watson 2 points away from taking out this opening set. The world number 49. Well, this is her favourite shot, Brengle.
30-15.
Well, she doesn't want to keep it in the kit bag. She needs to use it whenever she can.
Big point coming up right here. Just trying to close out this opening set.
So
now Brengle has a break point. The momentum shifts again. Watson has been able to save 11 of 13 break points in this opening set. And she saves another one.
Yes, just got it past again. Just scorching down that backhand side, Heather Watson. Seems to be able to produce something when she's in trouble, Heather. She's got that bit of a get-out clause with a number of shots.
Oh, just off balance there. Brengle, she was not really set to hit that shot, so now a set point for Heather Watson. Who took out 2 big scalps on the way to a semi-final at Eastbourne last year in Petra Kvitova, Flavia Panetta. She's defeated 3 top 40 players to start 2015. Looking to get the first set under her belt. And sails over the baseline from Brengle, and Heather Watson takes the opening set here at the final of the Hobart International, 6 games to 3. Well, slowly but surely, she was able to get on top.
Wind starting to really drive its way home. It's been extremely difficult for the players. There's the forecast temperature at the moment, 16.6 and 39 kilometres an hour, and picking up at maximum of 17. Not what you'd call scorching summer weather, but let's hope that rain stays away.
I think we had 45k gusts yesterday, so we're somewhere around that mark. But certainly from here, she's going to take some beating, Heather Watson. Hasn't dropped a set all week. It's real work to do for Madison Brengle. 18 winners to 9, so she's doubled that count. Heather Watson in the opening set. So Heather Watson of Great Britain, the favourite here in the final, takes the opening set 6 games to 3. The world number 49 up against the American qualifier Madison Brengle, who's had an amazing week here in Hobart, but she's got some work to do. But it won't be the first time that she's come from a set down. Let's go through the first set highlights, Michael.
Yes, and it was such an interesting battle between these two, and then Brengle sort of getting to the net, not often enough probably, and she was taking it up to Heather, but Heather's always seemed to be able to find something. Nice overhead from Brengle. It's so good at the net, Heather Watson. Back live now.
Interesting to note in that first set, we just seen a forehand winner there from Madison Brengle, but she made 12 unforced errors on that forehand side in the opening set. Now we know she's been carrying that blister. As to what effect it's having, we're not 100% sure.
Well, in the second set yesterday, it was obviously causing her a lot of discomfort, and I think it really did affect her play in that second set. I think she was just holding out, wanting to get that attention, and then came back very well in that third set to win.
Taped up from yesterday.
Certainly
in this game, she's been able to hit a couple of nice cross-court forehands.
Yes, of course, Heather's popped the question. 1-6-3 in the first set, and now the ball is in the court of Madison Brengle. How does she change things up to be able to turn the tide here?
So Brengle does hold to get us underway in the second. Well, she's a tough player to play, Watson, isn't she? Because of the change-up. Doesn't miss too many. We saw the unforced error there. But generally speaking, across the week, she's making you hit another ball.
Yeah, there's no question about that. She's extremely skilled and has had a very good grounding by the looks of things. She plays so well off both arcs, and interesting to see how she goes in the Australian Open that's coming up on Monday. And there's some of the stats. Well, Madison Brengle getting 78% of her serves in, but it's not a harmful serve.
It's probably got a little bit more on it than the semi-finals, but yeah, it could be a bigger weapon for her going forward if she is going to rise up the rankings. We talk about that all-court game. Played a lot of good doubles. Heather Watson, she can blast from the back. She's got good touch.
40 love.
Difficult to have good touch today in such windy conditions. It has to be centimetre perfect, as they say.
The second serve generally has been punished here. Only won 2 of 12 points on the second serve, Watson.
Game Watson.
It's a quick hold though.
One game on.
So first set going nearly an hour, and the opening 2 games of the second breezing past us pretty quickly. Brengle with the advantage of serving first in this second set.
Well, that first serve really has to
Love
get a
15.
bit more heat on it from Madison Brengle, because Watson's starting just to run around and place it wherever she wants.
Let's second set. $15.
Yeah, just followed her. Beautiful.
$15.30.
It's a quality tennis shot.
30.
I think if we had the radar gun on Madison Brengle's serve, I don't think there's much difference between first and second, and that's the real problem at the moment.
Well, she's equally as adept on the
40-30.
backhand side. Brengle, she can generate good angle, good pace.
Juice. Advantage Brengle.
So we've found it hard to ride off Madison Brengle all week. But right now you feel that
Juice.
Heather Watson can get the break here. She might just power on. Brengle not making it easy.
Advantage Brengle.
Well, this is the way she's played all week. She's fought extremely hard under duress. She is grabbing that wrist a little bit there. I think maybe she had a problem with a racket with a piece of tape coming off her racket just a moment ago. There's a huge gust of wind and they just wait for it to blow across.
Advantage Brengle.
Sometimes it can work in Brengle's favour, the slowness of her serve, because you can't get any pace off it. She holds.
Well, she remains steady under pressure, Madison Brengle. It's 2-1.
2 games to 1.
So Madison Brengle staying in front here in this second set, 2 games to 1. Now, she faced a little bit of adversity yesterday in that third set. With the blister on her hand, we saw the coach come out and really urge her on to keep going. The finish line wasn't too far away. There was the injury concern for Karimi Nara at the time. She found a way.
Yes, must be a couple of little light sprinkles of rain, as you can just see in the foreground there on our lens. Just a couple of droplets coming through, so we have the ball kids out there with the towels. What a magnificent job they've done in this tournament. I think they've brushed the court back and dried the court about 50 times, it seems. I think it's probably up to about 12 at least.
Finals day here at the Hobart International. Great Britain's Heather Watson on screen, trying to win her second WTA title. It's her opponent, the qualifier from the United States, Madison Brengle, who leads at 2 games to 1 here in this second set. Watson taking the first, 6 games to 3.
I think she surprised herself. Just hung on for long enough, did Madison Brengle, on that volley.
This is a great shot. Just the control.
And acknowledgement too.
So 2 game points here for Watson to get it to 2-all. Serving into the wind at that far end of the court. Sun back out. Little drops of rain here and there. Tight going in the second. 2 games apiece. Who's going to give here?
Well, she needs a good hold here. Madison Brengle, 2-all.
Heather Watson just keen to slow her opponent up here, who is lightning quick between the points. There's a lead off
30 love.
for Brengle.
Oh! 30-15. Breaking was good. First.
Well, it went for plenty.
$14-15. Game break.
Best serve so far of the day for Madison Brengle. And she holds sway here, 3-2 in the second set.
I don't see many aces from Madison Brengle.
Just a second.
She certainly did drill that one down the tee. Crowd watching on anxiously.
Well, like us up here, just trying to gauge how it's going to pan out. Watson gets the first set. Brengle all week has come back from adversity and won her matches. And as we can see, she's got that hand bandaged.
She's played a lot of tennis in this Hobart International 2015. She's played mainly three-setters. She's been on court for a fair while. You've got some stats there too,
Just
Brett.
keeping an eye on that winners count. 24-16. So that girl on your screen, Heather Watson, to come out and serve here to try and equalise in this second set and get it to 3 games apiece. 24-16, the winners count in favour of the British #1. Beautiful stuff from Brengle cross court.
Love 15.
One of the shots of the match, this from Madison Brengle. Just whipped it across the body.
Look at that ball just swirling around.
15.
Because she knows this is the game she can really make her move. Brengle.
Let's first.
Oh.
30-15.
That ball swirling around in the breeze. Very difficult for at times for the players to find the sweet spot on the racket with that swirly ball.
Just trying to get into a nice rhythm.
Left, second set.
Nervous time for Heather Watson now at 30 all. It's a game of tactics with Heather Watson trying to keep away from that backhand of Madison Brengle, and then the forehand floats out. Good tactic.
It's been interesting with the serve in this game. She's got that very strong breeze, just conscious of not overhitting and well, an important hold for Watson. 3 apiece. Second set. Really just taking the pace off the serve. A nice kick serve going on, particularly her second serve. Couldn't buy a lot of first serves in that game. So we can even compare the serves of both players. Certainly Bringle's going to keep rising up the ranks.
Yes, I don't know how she is physically, but she has had strapping on that shoulder for most of the tournament, as you mentioned yesterday, Brett, and maybe there is a little problem with the shoulder. She's just looking after it. Beautiful. She is a player that has quite a lot of power. You can tell she's got some revs, but that serve is not really out of the blocks just yet.
Bringle not liking the call at far end. It was a long way from where we're sitting. She thought that particular ball was out. Big point right here. So now a break point for Watson.
30-40. Wait, please. Juice.
Really painted the line there. Bringle stays in the game. Juice. Big 7th game.
Just let her down.
Advantage,
That
Watson.
forehand down the line.
And sails over the baseline. There's the break for Heather Watson. She might just be on her way. She leads it 4-3 here in the second set.
4-3.
Well, potentially, that's the game that might just change things here.
Well, she had a couple of opportunities on Heather Watson's serve in the last game prior to that and couldn't quite close it out. Heather crafty enough to be able to hold on. She definitely needs to pull something out here at the moment. Madison Brengle, Heather Watson, that all-round game working pretty well today, taking the first set 6-3 and 4-3 in the second with a break.
Yeah, just in this second set, only the 6 unforced errors for Heather Watson, double that number and more, 13 for Brengle. Finals day here at the Domain Tennis Centre in Hobart. Heather Watson, certainly the favourite coming into the final. The world number 49 who hasn't dropped a set in Hobart all week, getting the vital break in the 7th game. Taking the first set 6-3. She serves here at 4-3. Possibly closing in on her second WTA title. What can the qualifier bring to the table?
$15.
That's been the hardest end to serve from. Well, heading into that breeze.
13-15.
Certainly seen some different shots that we don't normally see on the tour from week to week. And she's a game away. Heather Watson from being the champion here in Hobart. Thank you, Michael. I'll let you get down to court level.
Yes, the way this game is going, you just never know. So it's been great working with the Brett.
Fantastic. So Madison Brengle serving here to stay alive in this second set.
Love 15. 15.
Third ace for Madison Brengle. First serve percentage around 79%, but Watson able to generate more winners.
$15.30. 30 on.
So ideally you don't want to be losing your serve to concede a match. Brengle will be keen here to hold. And Madison does that. So Heather Watson will come out and serve for the match in a few moments' time. She leads at 5-4 here in this second set. Match time 1 hour and 25 minutes. Beautiful Derwent River in the background. Got the cruise ships in here during the week as well. Heather Watson just continuing her flawless form. Has not dropped a set on her way to this final with wins over Magdalena Ribirikova, Sloane Stephens, Roberta Vinci, Alison Risk, and now with the upper hand to come out and serve for the match against the qualifier Madison Brengle. What's the American got left? She's come back from some adversity in this tournament a couple of times. Heather Watson of Great Britain serving for the match and to be declared the champion of Hobart. She starts in fine style. Fourth ace for Watson. Loose shot there from Watson. We haven't seen it too much here in this second set. She stares at the finish line, but Madison Brengle all week has so often defied the odds. Certainly for both players, they're going to get a nice little rankings boost. Particularly for Madison Brengle starting this week at world number 84. It's a great serve. And she sets up a match point.
40-30.
Looking to add to her title in Osaka back in 2012. And it sails wide. And Heather Watson is the champion of Hobart. She wins for a second time on the WTA Tour. What a week she has had, having not dropped a set. And she'll get the warm applause from the local crowd, who have really enjoyed her tennis with some great wins against higher ranked players. And she takes great confidence to the Australian Open starting on Monday. She'll go and share a moment with her coach. Wins are hard to come by on the WTA Tour. And what a start to the year, having represented Great Britain at the Hopman Cup last week in Perth, where she had a win against Casey Delacqua. And it was that victory in round 2 this week in Hobart against Sloane Stephens, the former world number 11, that really set her on her way. So Heather Watson, the champion here in Hobart. She becomes the 22nd winner of the Hobart International. An honour roll that has seen the likes of Petra Kvitova, the former world number 1 Kim Clijsters, former top 10 players Patty Schneider, and Chuck Vitadze, the Australian Alicia Molik, win this tournament in years gone past. And for that girl there, Madison Brengle, she can be pretty happy with her week. Coming from qualifying, great start to the year, also had to come through qualifying in Brisbane where she won a round. She's gone a big step further this week here in Hobart, making the final. And one player we're certainly going to keep an eye on in 2015, as she will no doubt shoot up the rankings. So the presentation coming your way in just a few moments here at the Domain Tennis Centre. Just some of the major numbers from this match. The unforced error count for Heather Watson, 32, 34 for Brengle, and 21 coming off that forehand wing. And we know that was taped up for the last couple of games. The winners count, 29 for Watson, 19 for Brengle. And it was certainly Heather Watson's ability to come into the net and finish off the points that stood her tall here this afternoon. 75% at the net, just 50% for Brengle. And of course, Heather also making the semi-finals of the doubles. She's been very popular here, out and about when she's had time away from the Domain Tennis Centre. Really embraced her time here in Hobart and the fans as well. Just her second final today, made that semi-final at Eastbourne last year, where she took out 2 good scalps in Petra Kvitova and also Flavia Pennetta. Of course, with Laura Robson off the tour, she is the only British player in the top 100. Starting this week at world number 49, so that ranking is certainly going to improve. She'll now go on to play Svetlana Peronkova of Bulgaria, first round of the Australian Open. And Madison Brengle will head to Melbourne to take on Andrea Petkovic, who has risen back into the top 20 in the last 12 months. So a week that has seen some amazing results, all facets of the weather, and a very deserving winner in Heather Watson from Great Britain. Let's take you down to the presentation ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Premier of Tasmania, Will Hodgman, and Phil Bowden, the President of Tennis Tasmania. Ladies and gentlemen, each year Tennis Australia selects 2 standout youngsters. This year we would like to acknowledge and congratulate Samuel Nofke and Jordan Petrick, who have been selected to be ball boys for the 2016 Australian Open. Please put your hands together for Samuel and Jordan. Bit of multitasking going on there. I'd now like to call on the Premier of Tasmania, Mr. Will Hodgman, to say a few words.
Thank you, Michael. Your Excellency, the Governor of Tasmania and Mr. Warner, to the Lord Mayor of the City of Hobart, to the President of Tennis Tasmania, Mr. Philip Bowden, and Mrs. Bowden, to all staff associated with Tennis Tasmania, and especially Tournament Director Mark Handley, congratulations on hosting once again a magnificent event, albeit in very difficult conditions this week, but another successful event. And the people of Tasmania, especially those who've been present today and throughout the week, have no doubt enjoyed a fantastic occasion watching world-class tennis here in Tasmania's beautiful capital city of Hobart. I do want to acknowledge also the important role of the sponsors, which the Tasmanian government is but one, and without these sponsors this event would not be such a great success. So to all corporate supporters and indeed media partners as well for not only broadcasting the wonderful action here on Centre Court, but also highlighting our beautiful city to the world. Thank you for your support of this event as well. In addition to Mark and his team, I want to also acknowledge the 200 plus volunteers who do a wonderful job supporting this event and giving their time to make it such an enjoyable occasion, I'm sure, for players and spectators alike. And to the fans, along with the fans who also make this event such a success, and most importantly, the players who come here. We really welcome you to our state and appreciate you being here. To all of the above who've endured somewhat difficult conditions this week, although I hasten to add they've come via mainland Australia, it's still been without doubt another tremendous event for this state, and a summer that is filled with so many exciting events in Tasmania. This is but one, but a very important one, and we are delighted to once again be a supporting partner to look forward to 2015, but to celebrate what was a wonderful occasion, a fantastic final to Madison and also to Heather. Thank you very much for entertaining us today. Congratulations, Heather especially, but to both of you and to all those who've come to Tasmania, we wish you the very best next week. I'm sure that the people of Tasmania will hold you in their hearts as you take to the courts in Melbourne. But thank you so much for being part of this special event here in Tasmania.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to ask the runner-up in the ladies' singles for 2015 at the Hobart International, Madison Brengle, to come forward.
First off, this is probably a little too high because I'm not very tall, but congrats to Heather on an amazing week. She played unbelievable here, so huge props to her. I want to thank all the sponsors and the tournament director for putting on such a great event, and the physios for getting me through it, because it's been a lot of matches here. I want to thank my coach for sticking with me, and everybody for coming out and supporting women's tennis. It's great playing here. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to come back next year. Thank you.
Well done, Madison. And now I'd like a big moment. I'd like to ask the winner of the 2015 Hobart International Ladies Singles title winner, Heather Watson, to come forward.
Hi everyone. First of all, I want to congratulate Maddie on reaching her first WTA final. She came all the way through qualies, and I think you've played almost 20 matches this year already. And well played. Next, I want to thank the sponsors. Without you, none of this would be possible, so thank you. And thank you to everybody who came this week, today, and throughout it all. I know it hasn't been superb weather for tennis, but you guys definitely made it fun for us, so thanks. Thank you to all the ball kids, you were great, and the line umpires and everybody behind the scenes, the physios for keeping us together, Mariana. Thank you, and I've enjoyed my time here so much, and I'd love to come back next year, so hopefully I can. And thanks to my coach, Diego. It's been great working with you. We work really hard, but we also have fun. So, title number 1.
A very popular winner, Heather Watson. She hasn't dropped a set right throughout this tournament. So let's hear it again for Heather Watson, our Ladies Singles Championship winner.
Well, a very successful week for Heather Watson of Great Britain. Doesn't lose a set on her way to winning her second WTA Tour title. And the world number 49 will head to Melbourne Park with plenty of confidence for the 2015 Australian Open. Let's take you through how it all unfolded. And it's just that all-court game for Heather Watson that has been the feature all week. It was on display again today. Good off both wings, able to get to the net and have some good effect. She was able to step up the serve when it counted. And as you can see, this match played in blustery conditions. The sun was in and out. She's been such a good defensive player, Madison Brengle, all week, really staying in points, but it was just the extra firepower from Heather Watson throughout this match that certainly saw her get on top. More winners. Yes, there was some unforced errors. She plays an aggressive game, but Heather Watson, the flawless week here at the Hobart International. Wins over Magdalena Ribera-Kova, Sloane Stephens, Roberta Vinci, Alison Risk, and a finals victory over Madison Brengle of the United States. So that is it from us here in Hobart. All roads now heading to Melbourne Park for the 2015 Australian Open. Heather Watson, the champion of the Hobart International for 2015.